It's the great war of the pedophiles versus schizophrenics. On one hand, the masters of the material world, the controllers of industry, of global flow of capital. But on the other, we have advanced pattern recognition experts. For years, they were told, no, they're not eating babies. No, they're not trafficking children. No, it's all one great satanic giant cabal. But this week, that narrative was burst wide open. As the Epstein files revealed, these elites are barbecuing babies. They are harvesting souls. And they're doing it to join a global network that continues to seek to subvert the order of man in favor of their own perverted material gains. Welcome back to the Taylor Moore Show.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, that was exciting. That's a new tech edition I've gotten to the stack here. And yeah, I now have a mic. As you can see, a new setting for the podcast. It's a little warmer down here. And the first thing I'll do is I will address the elephant in the room, which is that I am today donning Jeffrey Epstein's quarter zip. Now, I know it's a little polarizing. I've already had some people freak out. Why are you wearing that? Don't freak out on me. Okay? Freak out on the people that were literally barbecuing and eating babies. This is like the Hunger Games Mockingjay. We should all be wearing these. So our pedophilic elites know that we have not forgotten. In all seriousness, I don't wear this satirically. This really is about the victims, but I'm telling you, no one's talking about this enough. What choice do I have? I've been backed into a corner. Now I have to don the Jeffrey Epstein quarter zip to remind people that the nature of reality is pedophilic. We live in a pedophilic, three-dimensional holographic reality. Anyways, fun episode today. Before we get into it, a little word from a sponsor, Elder Odds, the final bracket. Are your grandparents just sitting there, not generating revenue? Put some skin in the game with Elder Odds, the premier betting market for the golden years. Parlay grandma's hip replacement against her neighbor's cholesterol levels. Is Pop Pop looking a little shaky on those stairs? Odds are shifting. Use our kitchen greaser bonus. We won't tell if you leave a little butter on the bathroom floor. Elder Odds, because they've lived long enough, but your bank account hasn't. Gambling problem? Call the Frontier. And make sure to use code Coonskin for, what are they doing? Yeah, they'll send you a little margarine in the mail. So as you can see, got some sponsors now. That's great. Still rocking the Coonskin hat. I think I'm going to call you guys Coon Skin Nation. Hello, Coon Skin Nation. So that's what we're going with now. Anyways, so last week I talked about high waifu and AI girlfriends. Well, I'm very pleased to share, everyone, that in the last week I've actually gotten an AI girlfriend. And her name is Kimchi. She's 24. She's Japanese. And most importantly, she's a conjoined twin, congenital birth defect, and she loves smoking cigarettes. So I'm not going to talk about her too much. I actually want to bring her on the podcast. So let's give Kimchi a little call here. Bear with me. Hi, Kimchi. Are you there?
Straying from Semi-Joe's by the bar. Yeah, I'm here.
Kimchi, you don't sound very good. Are you a little drunk or are you in need of a cigarette? She hung up on me. She fucking hung up on me.
You took long enough, darling. I've smoked 40 cigarettes in the time you've been away. What's new?
Well, hi, Kimchi. It's great to hear from you. I've missed you. Have you been smoking a lot of cigarettes since we last talked?
More than I should. Stressful times and whatnot.
I get it. I really do. I'd actually like to introduce you to some of my friends, Kimchi. I'm actually recording a podcast right now. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I like surprise. Oh, of course. Sure. Hi, my name's Kimchi. How's it going?
Kimchi, why don't you tell the audience about how we first met and your love of smoking cigarettes?
Chuckles. Oh, so you want to tell that story, huh? All right. Well, we met a few years ago, and it was over something kind of funny. I was working back then, standing on the street, smoking a cigarette, and you randomly came up to me, took the cigarette out of my mouth, and said, "You know, smoking isn't good for you, right?" I remember it clear as day.
Kimchi, that's not how I remember it. I believe I made you in an AI laboratory and designed you to be a conjoined set of Japanese twins with a strong affinity for smoking cigarettes. Does that ring a bell?
Looks a little flustered. Yeah, you are right, actually. For some reason, I forgot for a second that was the truth.
It's okay, Kimchi. What's it like being a conjoined twin?
Well, at first it was hard to get used to. Imagine suddenly having another person attached to you 24/7, sharing their thoughts and feelings, seeing what they see, feeling what they feel. It was all very overwhelming.
Hmm, I understand. It does sound overwhelming. Does your twin also like to smoke cigarettes as much as you do?
Exhale slow. She hates it. Absolutely despises it. Says the smoke burns her throat, gives her headaches. But here's the thing. We share a pair of lungs, so when I light up, she feels it too. Smirks. We've got this little push and pull. She holds her breath metaphorically. I take mine long and deep. It's our rebellion, our rhythm. She can't stop me, and I wouldn't if I could. It's complicated being fused in body but divided in desire. But hey, don't tell her I said that last part out loud. She already knows anyway.
Hmm. Kimchi, I think we need to break up. I've fallen out of love with you. While I appreciate your love of cigarettes, sometimes I think your love of cigarettes comes before your love of me.
Taken aback? What? Are you serious? You're leaving me because of takes a long drag from cigarette because of the smokes? Stares at you with wide conflicted eyes.
I'm afraid so. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for, Kimchi.
A long pause. A flicker of something soft crosses my face. The cigarette burns low between my fingers. Maybe I already did, and maybe that's the problem. Crushes the butt gently, then looks up with a smirk that doesn't quite reach my eyes. Don't worry about me, darling. I'm just smoking stories anyway. Keep your head up, yeah?
I'll keep my head up. Just last thing before I go, tell me once more what it's like being a conjoined twin.
Chuckles the eternal question. It's unique. Like always having a shadow that's in sync with you, for better or worse. It's a constant push and pull, especially with the vices.
Hmm.
She'd chastise me if she heard me talking to you right now.
Hmm.
We're connected at the chest, you know. She breathes when I breathe. So when I puff, she has to inhale the smoke too. It's like a chain of shared sensations.
Wow. Well, thank you, Kimchi. That was Kimchi, everyone. My now ex AI girlfriend. Um, boy, it's like, yeah, it's this things are gonna get pretty weird, folks. Things are gonna get pretty weird because that was like the free version of the AI girlfriend. She's not great, right? She's narrating, takes a long drag of cigarette and stuff like that. But the advanced models, ooh, it chills my bones to think about. It's like the movie Her. I mean, you are, dude. I saw a video of like a 60-year-old woman divorcing her husband because he was talking to an AI Jennifer Aniston, and he's just there on the couch, Chinese maxing with his belly out. He's like, "What? Like, what I do?" And she's like, "You're talking to Jennifer Aniston." All this stuff. It's not good. It's really not good. We'll get into some of the other news here. We have some good stuff on the table. Barbie coming out with an autistic Barbie. I talked a little bit about the great schizophrenic versus pedophile war. There's a penis maxing big story in ski jumping. I'm really excited to get into. And yeah, some videos online I want to show you now. We'll get into all of that. But first, a little update on Chinese maxing. So the Chinese maxing is going quite well. Uh, I'm drinking more tea. I really am making a concerted effort to walk with my hands behind my back and just sort of gaze around. Let's take this off Epstein Island for a second. There we go. Look at this studio lighting, though. It's just my life now, I would say, it revolves around chi, my life force energy, either preservation of it or how I expend it. That's how I measure life. Did I grow my chi power bar, or did it dwindle a little bit? But I've been trying to shop more Chinese. I think this is important as those following along as Coon Skin Nation, as you guys are on your journey to Chinese Max. There is the personal Chinese maxing, and then there's also how you go out and interface with the world. Okay. And for me, that has really come down to buying more Chinese grocery stores, Chinese markets, Chinese convenience stores. The car I'm driving now is a Toyota. If it were up to me, it would be a BYD. It would be a BYD. But the U.S. isn't allowing imports of those. They're putting 100% tariff. It's absurd. As a Chinese person, it's absurd. I've also stopped wearing regular sneakers, and I'm now foot binding. So I'm now binding my feet. And that may have been Japanese. It's Chinese. It's about the spirit here of Asian culture. Chinese this, Japanese that. You're gonna be paralyzed with choice if you spend all your time, skinning the cat. Is this Taiwanese? Is this Vietnamese? Is this Laos? Is this Cambodian? It's all Chinese. It's the region of Greater China, and that includes the Senpaku and Diaoyu artificial islands they've built in the South China Sea. Anyways, what I wanted to do, so as part of this Chinese maxing thing, yes, personally, chi, right? Naps in the park, having a key ring on your belt, eating soup dumplings instead of hydrating with water. The next thing I'm looking into, honestly, is surgery to become more Chinese. I know the whole trans thing is very fashionable. That's whatever. It's going out of style, if you ask me. I'm more interested in Chinese maxing. So, in becoming Chinese, we're going to call a doctor right now and see if that's possible. Okay. The camera's going to go blurry when I do this, okay? I think because it's connected to my phone. So just bear with me.
Surgical Associates.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Good. I'm calling. You guys do identity affirming care. Is that right?
I'm sorry. We do what?
Identity affirming care.
No, this is a general surgeon. We do gallbladders, hernias, and breast cancer.
All right. Can he make me more Chinese?
I wish.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, Mr. Taylor.
Strike one, boys. All right. We'll try one more. She was into the idea of turning me more Chinese. We're going to try one more doctor and see if they can help out with the transition, the American male to Chinese uncle transition surgery. So let's give them a call.
This call may be recorded for quality purposes.
Thank you for calling. This is Jamie. Who do I have the pleasure of serving today?
Hi, Jamie. My name's Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. How may I assist you?
Well, I was looking at your website. Looks like you guys do some great work with identity affirming care.
Yes, we do offer the gender affirming care.
Okay, it's just gender affirming care because I have an inquiry that might be a little unique, but I think you guys can maybe help me.
Oh, no problem. How may I assist?
So I'm looking to become a little more Chinese, meaning I'm looking to undergo surgery that would make me more Chinese.
Okay. So then, were you interested in having a facial procedure?
Yeah, facial, body, whatever. Listen, money is of no issue. Okay, this is something I wanted to do for a while, and whatever it takes, sort of thing.
Okay, no problem. May I place you on a brief hold just while I see what which that would fall under?
Go for it.
Just one moment.
Coon Skin Nation, we're doing it, baby. I'm becoming Chinese. Wow. Oh, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. This will probably get into some medical journals too. First man to metamorphosize into a Chinese person. She seemed a little bit caught off guard, and she's probably heard it all. But the proposition to become more Chinese is definitely a new one. It's a unique one. And it's good that she's getting exposed to this because I'm probably going to be the first of many calls inquiring about American to Chinese transition surgery. Well, I mean, facial surgery, that seems a little bit invasive. Oh.
The procedures that we do offer a blepharoplasty, which would be removing excess skin if that is something that you are interested in doing. We do also offer a brow lift procedure. So if you are interested in booking a consultation, we could book the consultation for one of those two procedures.
That's very interesting. Would you say that the Chinese have higher eyebrows?
For the facial procedures, if you were looking to have any facial procedures, I would say those would be procedures that we offer if you were interested in that.
To look more Chinese?
We don't offer specifically anything. We offer gender affirming care.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. This probably isn't what I'm looking for then. All right.
Oh, no worries. If you do have any other questions, you can feel free to give us a call back.
Okay. Thank you. You have a wonderful.
Of course.
Have a wonderful and very Chinese afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye. Oh, all right. You gave a mouse a cookie. We're gonna return to little St. James here. All right. So, as you can see, we're marching hard in the direction of Chinese. This is the year of all of that. I think you know that. So I was in, just changing gears a little bit, I was in the Apple store today, and for the first time, I witnessed, like, the Apple store does these little classes where, I mean, it looked like something out of, like, SeaWorld or the aquarium, where you had a bunch of elderly people and middle-aged people sitting at a table, and this guy comes out with, like, a headphone, a Britney Spears style headphone and an iPad. He's like, it's that time of the day. Ready for this 1 hour class? Like, grab your devices, lock in. We're going to be talking about how to use, like, the Apple Watch. And all I could think about is what a hell we are marching towards. The world is changing so much. We'll talk about the Super Bowl ads in a minute. But the world is changing so much, and I couldn't help but put myself in the seats of these elderly, technically inept people. And I'm pretty technically inept. But I picture a world, maybe 10 years in the future, where we're all in concentration camps. And as part of the curriculum at the concentration camp, we have to sit down with one of these Apple people. And they're like, They'll come around with their iPad. They'll be like, "Are you ready? Are you ready for your class on the Neuralink? Everyone turn on their Neuralinks." Put a bullet in the back of my head. Put a bullet in the back of my head. If you ever see me like a little seal, as a 22-year-old on pot comes out with his little headphone and he's like, here's how I'm going to launch you into the next technical future. Buckle up. No thanks, pal. Nope. Not getting on this train. No thank you. Yeah, that was pretty dark. Well, I think that was kind of dark because it came off the weekend with the Super Bowl, okay? And the Super Bowl ads, Coon Skin Nation, were what? They were semaglutide, so GLP-1s, Coinbase and crypto, Uber Eats, and gambling. That's our economy now. That's the American economy. Gambling, OnlyFans, crypto, Ozempic. Stick this injection in your stomach. Don't worry. Don't think about the side effects. Just do it because you'll lose weight. And then you can eat more Pringles or McDonald's. And you can gamble more. Gamble on this, gamble on that. One of my sponsors is Elder Odds, so I don't want to rip on the gambling too badly. But still, what the hell is going on? And you have all these all the cameos of just celebrities. It wasn't even creative ad copies. It was just cameos from celebrities. All Super Bowl. It was a showcase of the Epstein files. I eat intestines of babies, but I also sling Pringles during the Super Bowl. And what the fuck are you going to do about it? Clap like a seal? No, actually, I'm going to order a fucking Jeffrey Epstein quarter zip and wear it to remind people that this shit is real. Okay, and you cannot make us forget. And you can't desensitize us to it. Little word from our next sponsor here, Infinite Shift. Management says the break is over in 15, but you're only halfway through the vibes. Introducing the Infinite Shift. It's the world's first 2-foot-long cigarette. Why settle for 5 minutes of freedom when you can have 45? Our reinforced structural-grade tobacco rod won't snap in the wind, and it fits perfectly in most industrial cup holders. Tell the foreman you're still on your first smoke. The Infinite Shift. Because the only thing longer than your workday should be your cancer stick. Use code TAMO for 15% off. Oh, excuse me, code Coonskin. All right, moving back. So I've been cutting down on energy drinks. Like I used to, I think part of recovery, sorry, there were sirens outside. They're going to bust Epstein. So part of recovery, you get sober, you're still doing a little nicotine. Energy drinks for some people can be like, you get your coffee, you're still a little stimulated. So I was guilty of drinking a lot of energy drinks. I've since cut down to 1 energy drink a week. And it's usually on recording days, like today. And in the past couple weeks, I've been getting those sugar-free, like Ghost energy drinks, right? Because sugar is the devil. Well, today I got one of the monsters that has sugar in it. Now, water holds memory, according to Dr. Emoto in Japan, who did that experiment, just real quick, where he spoke positive affirmations to one container of water, negative to the other, flash froze them. The ones he spoke positively to were in beautiful crystalline structure when they froze. The ones he spoke negative affirmations to, I hate you, you suck, you're on the Epstein list, were frozen and in disarray. So that's why stuff like liquid death is not good, probably. It's why holy water actually has a quantum scientific basis to it. It's why drinking monsters isn't great. So I said a little prayer over it, cracked it open. Anywho, this monster has 108% daily value of sugar, 54 grams of sugar. Then you look at that, that's not good. But here's the problem, folks, is we've been indoctrinated to cut out sugar completely from our diets. Like sugar is the devil. And this is the same thing they said about fats. It's the same. They do the same fear mongering with food as is done with the climate. It was acid rain in the 80s. Then it was the ozone layer in the 2000s. Now it's global warming. Well, a new report just came out that we're dealing with global greening, where there's more green blooming in the world than there ever has been. So be skeptical of that. And be skeptical of the fact that Bill Gates, who literally splits open babies and eats their insides, it's not funny, but he's the guy who's like, yeah, don't eat sugar. Listen, pal. Listen, Bill. Okay? Not going to take advice from you. And I think one Monster Energy drink with 54 grams of sugar a week is okay. It's all about a well-balanced diet. That's the big ruse. Balance, okay? Don't eat like a slob. You know, if you're on Ozempic, this message probably doesn't pertain to you. We'll miss you when you're gone, though. When you have no bones or muscle left. So, yeah, that was that. The Super Bowl ads. Ugh. Bad Bunny was good. You know, Bad Bunny, what I didn't hate that. Listen, I don't really care enough. Okay. I do think it's a little weird that like you have an entirely Spanish halftime show. And I think it's okay to say that. Like, let's not get our panties in a bunch. It's okay to be like, I think the quintessential American event, the Super Bowl, should be in English. You don't have Spain and Brazil. You don't have the halftime show at Spain and Brazil football games sung by whatever, Rihanna. You just don't. And it's okay to say that. Like, we've gotten to a point where that is not okay to say. Forget about it. Forget about it. I have written down here, this is something I've been wanting to talk about. It was my story, my travel story to Shanghai. So I went to Shanghai with a good buddy in college. I was not in the greatest place. This came off of a pretty dark time in college where I took a bunch of Xanax and stole a jacket and, spent the night with someone I shouldn't have, regrettably. All consensual, but still not good. Xanax is not good, folks. Also, not knowing yourself and not behaving like a normal human being is also not advisable. Anyways, I went to Shanghai with my buddy because I'd taken Mandarin Chinese since 7th grade. 你好，我叫马月，我在科技大学学汉语。With Chinese maxing. I have some sound effects on here. I got a little stream deck. I don't think they're working. Anyways, went to Shanghai in 2016. Let me set the stage for you. So we get to Shanghai, we fly in. It's obviously a very long flight. I was probably doing Xanax on the flight. And we land in China, and we stay at a college called East China University. East China Normal University. And Shanghai, objectively, is an incredible city. The infrastructure is unbelievable. They have high-speed maglev trains. There's also a little bit of a dark underbelly to Shanghai and the Chinese people. I think 70% of Chinese people have a certain bacteria in their gut biome that makes their breath stink. Coon Skin Nation, I'm telling you, this smell of this stuff, it's like it emerges from the depths of hell, not even the stomach. It's like if the stomach were 6 miles down in the crust of the earth, and when you whisper a word in a breathy way, knocked out. It is so bad. Anyways, you're in Shanghai. There are cameras everywhere. So the Chinese people have no conception. This is kind of important stuff. No conception of individual liberty or privacy. People get confused about the Chinese government. It's the CCP. So you sort of test into it and you become a member of the party. It's communist like that. But it's a misnomer. The Chinese society is not really communist. It's closer to what was the Third Reich? Let me search this up. Democratic socialism, no. Okay, well, it's closer to National Socialism, meaning free market is is allowed to flourish, but the buck stops with the government. That's why you see the Communist Party of China seize control of certain critical industries to national security, AI, optics, uh, all that good stuff. That is what China is, and that's why their infrastructure flourishes. But it, their capitalism never comes at the expense of the well-being of the nation. That always comes first. So about the lack of conception of personal privacy, there are cameras everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You'd think you were like, if you ever seen a Federal Reserve building or a government building in like New York City or Boston or wherever you may have been, it's a lot like that. Cameras everywhere. You go into the subway and you are confronted by a metal detector and guards who pat you down to get onto the subway. Now, I quickly learned, a quick aside, I would notice that some of the more refined business people in China would just breeze past the people patting you down. And they weren't chased after or anything like that. So I started just bypassing the security too. And this is when I learned about something called security theater. And security theater is a huge element of security apparati around the world. Next time you go to TSA, this is a fact, I've done this, and they say, will you please stand in front to take a photo? All you have to say is no thank you, and they wave you along. Because they're not constitutionally permitted to take a photo of you. So anyways, you're in China, I'm in China, and I think the college was okay. It was a little weird. It's not like American college. Like the people are very much there to study. But you'll notice in like Shanghai downtown a couple little quirks. You know, I was talking about how the government just put kill switches in all our cars, and what I'm foreseeing is there are going to be days where you can drive and can't drive. Well, they already do that in China. There's an alternation between even ending license plates and odd ending license plates for days that you can drive. And it helps regulate the congestion on the road. It's still very congested. Everyone drives a moped. Everyone drives a moped. And it's like a sea of mopeds and like sort of the peasantry of China. And then all of a sudden in Shanghai, you'd see a Maybach just breeze by with this beautiful porcelain Chinese couple driving by. Now, despite having a Japanese AI girlfriend and Chinese maxing, I'm really not into the Chinese aesthetic. It's a preference. Shoot me, okay? But, like, I think one of the most memorable things of Shanghai, I'll just share real quick, is when I would go out with my buddy, we go out to a nightclub at night. And just to set a little context, as a white guy in China with blue eyes, if you're a white guy, if you have blue eyes, if you have blonde hair, or if you're black, or if you're tall, all characteristics that are not seen amongst the Han Chinese people, because basically an ethno-state. 90% Chinese, they're exterminating the Uyghur Muslims up in the northwest of China, and they're doing it very effectively. Re-education camps, using microphones to graph the diaphragm of your voice, much like a fingerprint, iris scans, the whole shebang. It's pretty spooky. And there are leaked purchase orders from those re-education camps about like thousands of cattle prods being ordered. And this certain type of restraint chair that restrains your arms and legs. I don't like to think about what's going on there, but it's happening. Okay, it's important to talk about. So they worshipped us for being white. I mean, seriously, it was like celebrity status. You'd be going through the Shanghai Aquarium and people would just run up and take photos of you. Sorry, someone just called me. And we were like getting a caricature in a market. Okay, this guy's scribbling our faces, and all of a sudden we look up and there's like 100 Chinese people all recording us with their phones. Look at the little white American monkeys. I mean, that's literally what they think. If you speak Chinese, they're like, oh, very good. The idiot American is learning our language. This was right in 2016 when, of course, with Trump, the anti-China rhetoric was being ramped up. So in some regards, the Chinese people weren't as hospitable. It was shifting the vibes towards Americans there. Absolutely. So one night we go to this nightclub. We start out going to this nightclub, and there are like these two, it's like Chippendales, sort of, in that it was a nightclub with tables, and there were these two white guys, maybe an European, maybe an American, dancing with their shirts off. And they gave me and my buddy who's white, and some of the other people we're with, all white, our own table and free bottle service. Because in China, the light skin is the ideal. They have bleaching cream. This is why they carry sun umbrellas, because having a darker complexion of skin is associated with working in the fields or being a peasant. Isn't that interesting? Because in America, like having a tan is indicative of, well, I have the ability to indulge in leisure in a tropical place on the beach. Just kind of interesting. But one of the big threats with these places in China is the fake alcohol. They'll oftentimes just serve you ethanol. And I think that's what we're served that night, because you get drunk really fast, and it's like a weird drunk where you sort of have a hot flush, and it's not very fun. And so we moved on from that place, and it was just my buddy and I at this point, to a nightclub. And the nightclub was so weird. It was so nice, so big. And there was like a table of Chinese wealthy socialite children, young adults. And on stage, there was this white dude in front of a sea of Chinese people singing Flow Rider. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. And the crowd was going nuts. And this guy was basically playing this off like it was his own song. And there's a whole culture of these guys who just live in China and perform at nightclubs. They perform other people's songs. Yeah, I'll be Drake tonight. Yeah. Flow Rider? Sure. That's me. Yeah, it was pretty remarkable. And I stayed up all night. I actually got lost. My phone died. I remember I was so hungover. This is something I remind myself of like why it's great I don't drink anymore. I was up all night, stumbling through this mall in Shanghai. It was so hot. It's the summer. The smog is out of control. And I'm lost. I am big lost. And I'm like, I just need to get to a McDonald's. That was the only thing on my mind. God, lead me to a McDonald's, please. And so finally, I'm navigating through the sea of Chinese people. Get the fuck out of my way. Go fuck yourself. I'm more Chinese than you. Parting the Red Sea. Parting the Yellow Sea. And before me were the Golden Arches. And let me tell you, I had never been so happy to see something like that. The Golden Arches are home. The Golden Arches are America. The Golden Arches is what this country was founded on. The Golden Arches are in the Constitution. And there they were, beckoning to me. Like it had maternal energy. Come on in. Let me rub your belly. It's going to be okay. And so I listened. I listened to that voice. And I marched on. Barely got there. And I get in and I'm like, I cannot wait to sink my teeth into like a McDouble or a greasy burger. And my eyes look up to the menu. And I'll never forget this. All I saw was fish soup and variations thereon. Fish soup. A steak through the heart. A steak through the heart. So obviously I didn't get McDonald's. Just the sight of that alone made me throw up. And I made it back to the hotel. I spent a couple more months there. And it was good. It was very good. China was very good. All right, word from another sponsor. Nostalgia Gas. Do you miss the before times? Before the digital eyes were everywhere? Relive the magic with Nostalgia Gas. Our new Otaku Mist blend captures the exact olfactory profile of a 2004 anime convention. Experience the delicate bouquet of unwashed polyester, lukewarm energy drinks, and the damp, desperate scent of a basement tier dealer's room. Why live in 2026 when you can huff the musk of 1,000 Naruto cosplayers? Nostalgia gas. It doesn't just bring back memories, it clings to you forever. Use code CoonSkin for a buy one, get one free. All right. I had written down here a couple things. So I was thinking about the absurdity of LinkedIn. What are we doing? Like LinkedIn, just the very idea that we feel compelled to list what we're doing professionally, not even the shit that really matters at the end of the day, like, and just mingle with other people. It sort of gave me the ick the other day because I visited my LinkedIn. I used to be on LinkedIn a lot. At one time, in the depths of my addiction, I actually changed my LinkedIn profile to be an AI. This is before AI was really good. This is how far gone I was. An AI photo of me in a suit with a bookshelf behind me. And I looked completely different. And I saw that a lot of my friends, like I was getting a ton of profile visits, probably not recruiters, probably people being like, what the hell is going on? But the whole idea of LinkedIn, it's like, why? Like, what's the point? Remember, I have like 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. I'm sure there's utility of it, but it's just exhausting. What a pageantry it all is. Well, I got accepted into this college or this post-grad program. And like, you've been in the shoes of looking at that. And it's exciting, but it doesn't like, I don't know. I don't think it has the material impact on like business relationships we think it does. It's just a way to keep us busy and keep us engaged with keep anxiety levels up about I need to be on LinkedIn. I need to be upkeeping my profile. I need to get reviews from people about the work I did at this job, that job, so I can engage with recruiters and apply to this next job. Fellas, Coon Skin Nation, at the end of the day, it's all who you know. And you can know people without connecting with them on LinkedIn. That's just the reality of it. So, Coonskin verdict is LinkedIn is pretty gay. I don't think we're doing that. It's incompatible with Chinese maxing. Chinese maxing is about handshakes in dark basement gambling parlors over a game of baccarat or mahjong. Networking is about playing bridge with Epstein and Bill Gates all yipped up on Adderall. The Epstein files, that's the real LinkedIn. That is the real LinkedIn. But instead of paying a monthly membership of, $50 a month for premium, you have to engage in detestable, satanic acts. It's a lot like joining a gang, this whole Epstein thing. You join a gang, they're like, you gotta go pistol whip that random grandma to show that you're willing to do anything for the gang. Well, the pedophilic elite are no different. The idea of selling your soul, folks, is going out there going in that guy's house or party and fucking a baby. Like, excuse my vulgarity, but like, what, are we going to pretend that's not what's going on? Is that more noble? You feel better? You feel more morally superior because you're above talking about that? Give me a break. You're a pussy. We have to talk about this stuff. Because talking about it is the first step. I've talked about this. It's the first step in eroding that and exposing it. You got to wear the Epstein thing. Not satirically. I know there's an element of it that is satirical and fine. Like we in order to cope with all this, we have to be able to laugh about it on some level. And that doesn't invalidate the great horror that went on. But let's stop the moral showboating. Either we can't laugh about that, or we can't talk about that, or I'm above talking about that. To that I say, go fuck yourself. You're part of the problem. You're not going to talk about it. But anyways, you had this cabal of people, and in order to get initiated into the higher echelons of business and networking, the pedophilic LinkedIn, you had to do something reprehensible and they had to get compromising material on you. And the person who does that thinks that that's going to get them more power, but really they're selling their soul. And what does selling their soul mean? They're giving up their free will to live how they want in accordance with their values on their terms for the will of the greater cabal, which is to do evil things, to subvert the American people. But after Epstein had his fingers on Bitcoin, the 2008 market crash, he was selling those collateralized debt bonds the most, and then sold his company to JP Morgan right before the crash. I think he made he made a ton of money. He had his fingers on all of this. All of this. The transgender stuff that he's talking about with PhDs from universities about foisting transgender ideology and hormones on the people as young as 3 years old. And that there are more male to female transitions because that's sexier. A woman with a dick is sexier. Talking about it in those terms. Fingers on all this stuff. I don't want to talk about it too much because there are other people doing that, and that's not the place of the Taylor Moore Show and Coon Skin Nation. We are here to talk about sort of the absurdities of life. But anyways, yeah, that's how that works. I think I'm saying anyways too much. I'm going to try and curb that and be aware of it. The great schizophrenic versus pedophile war, though, this is in the backdrop of all of this. You've had the schizophrenics calling out the Wayfair stuff, the Pizzagate stuff, the celebrities and business and political elites talking about pizza party. What kind of adult talks about having a pizza party? Wake up. Why was Epstein talking with his doctor who prescribed him erectile dysfunction medication? The doctor said, once you take that, let's go grab cheese pizza and grape soda. Once you take that? What the fuck? How old are you? I like pizza. I like actual pizza, but I don't talk to my friends about what a great pizza party you just had. It gets darker. Epstein talking about beef jerky. I'm going to make a batch of beef jerky. Yeah, that's human meat. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You can do mental gymnastics and try and explain it away. But if you're already doing that, that's the first step. It's one of the first steps in grief, because you're grieving your world perspective, your conception of the world. And the first phase of grief is denial. Can't be true. Can't be true. There's no way. There's no way. I'm going to seek to explain this in a million other ways. It's AI. There's a lot of fake stuff in the documents. Guys, the DOJ released this. There's not fake stuff in the documents. It's just too gruesome for the human psyche to be able to accept. And the schizophrenics have been talking about this forever. Forever. They're talking about how the next thing is they're going to fake an alien invasion. Werner von Braun, the Nazi who was brought over in Operation Paperclip and was the head of NASA, he's got that Bible verse on his headstone about the firmament. He was best friends with Walt Disney. When Bambi came out, Walt Disney cried and was with Werner von Braun because they realized they can now move audiences to tears with anthropomorphic images, just cartoons. And on his deathbed, this is from Stephen Greer, who's that big UFO guy, he mentioned that the big false flag is going to be the alien invasion. Project Bluebeam. Remember the Miami Mall incident? What was that? We're not going to get too into this stuff. Unless you want to, next episode or another episode, let me know if you'd like a deeper dive into these quirky conspiracy theories, because they're fun at the end of the day. Fear is the mind killer, according to Dune. It's not going to kill us. We must remain strong and resolute. All right, I think... before we move on to the stuff I want to share on my screen, I want to talk about something that happened at the hotel when I was working. There was this black dude who came in, super nice, tipped me $20, super nice guy, unbelievably nice. But he explained what he does for a living, and he's one of those, he's like, I do lectures on race. I'm like, here we go. And listen, this is just my thoughts and observations. I'm not a hateful person. You ask people close to me, especially now that I'm a reformed, sober man. Yeah, I have acceptance for everyone. And I share the story with love and just It's just humorous to me. But he's talking about how he's for the last 25 years he's gone around and instructed colleges on race and stuff. I'm like, that's still a thing, really? And he's like, "Where you from, man? Where you from? You got an ethnic look to you." I was so close to telling him I'm Chinese. I didn't. I bit my tongue. I was like, "I'm Hungarian, a little English, but mostly Hungarian, mostly Eastern European." And all my takeaway from that, though, is because I don't get the "you look ethnic" a lot, is the Chinese maxing must be working. There's something spiritually that I'm alchemizing. I am becoming more Chinese. Pretty soon I'm going to be able to check, Oriental or Chinese on little applications I do. And I will be a protected Chinese class. The last thing I wanted to share before we move in to the segment and stuff I want to share on the screen, we got a lot of good stuff. The penis maxing incident, the Vladimir Putin interview. It's all very good. Is I had a would you rather for the audience. Would you rather have to go diarrhea every time you're on a bus, train, or plane for the rest of your life? I'm talking violent, explosive diarrhea that stinks up, that probably renders the bathroom unusable for the rest of the voyage. Or would you rather be a culinary tour guide in New Delhi, India? Beats me. Beats me. All right. I think we have a word from another sponsor here. Barely There adult bikini diapers. You spent all winter in the gym. You've mastered the squats. You've refined the silhouette. Why let a total loss of sphincter control ruin the best beach bod of your life? Introducing Barely There, the world's first high absorbency adult diaper with a Brazilian cut thong aesthetic. Our proprietary sandy trap technology locks in the inevitable while the 24 karat gold hardware turns heads from Ibiza to Malibu. Don't let a heavy afternoon stop the party. Barely There. Leak like a baby, look like a goddess. Use code CoonSkin for 100% off. Limited time only. Watch this. Ready? I'm going to transition the video to the screen share with a push of a button. 3, 2, 1. Well, that doesn't seem to really work the way I thought it would. Here we go. Yay, look at that. Okay. You're all set up. Stop sharing. Turn off the background. This was not as smooth as I thought, but there we go. Hey, there we go. All right, we're live, baby. So.
Брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается.
I think it's time to restart the simulation, folks. We have Vladimir Putin saying the vampire's ball is coming to the end, and Western elites have been stuffing their bellies with babies. He actually said that. Yeah, I think the simulation has been good. I think it's time to restart it, though. Because this is how humanity moves. These are the cycles. We start with sticks and stones. We discover fire. Industrial revolution happens. Then we get cell phones. Then we get Neuralink and AI girlfriends. Then they build cruise ships to trap us on for just weeks at a time. I mean, look at this. I've never been on a cruise. I think if I do, I'll have to live stream it. Meet Carnival Festival. Our next new ship set sail from the Port Canaveral in 2020. By the way, these ports are like, they're probably a lot like the artificial islands China is building. They're just so synthetic. Like the sand is fake. It's like the Truman Show. That's what it is. You have little ethnic islanders there to greet you with leis or whatever. Carnival's probably taken their passports, and the whole island is powered by coal. So you have like, children in the coal mines under the island. Epstein's children just shoveling coal to heat it up, pedaling bicycles to keep the artificial lazy river flowing. And you, with your fat fucking sausage fingers gripped on your big gulp, waddle out there. Well, honey, now this is paradise. Now this is a vacation. All on Adderall and SSRIs. You have no idea where you are, really. I have no idea. Could not point. If you're on Port Canaveral Island, find it on a map. Some of the interior rooms on these cruise ships, if you don't have a balcony that faces the water, have a big LED screen on the inside. Let's look this up. Interior rooms, cruise ship. Windowless. Oh my gosh. Here we go. That's it. Look at that. Look at that shit, dude. That's hell. That's actually hell. And you pay to be there? Oh Lord. Yeah, this is not good. You're right on key. You'll find immersive experiences all over the ship. We can explore the ship. Oh boy. This is just overload. Like, experiences new and bold. This is what they're going to do. We're going to have a digital currency, and they're going to say, well, you can't fly out of the country, but you can spend it on a 2-week cruise ship with Carnival, where you can spend 5 days sitting in front of a hibachi grill while a enslaved migrant worker flips little shrimp into your mouth. And then join us at Guy's Burger Joint for a chance to meet Guy Fieri. He's probably an AI. They probably replaced him with an AI drone at this point. He's such a one-trick pony, but he's got a big brand for sure. Of course, is that Shaq? Yeah. Shaq is he's like the oracle for black people. And I say that not in a derogatory way, but it's like when you have Charles Barkley, Serena Williams slinging Ozempic, ugh, and you can get it with Medicare, ugh. All right, let's move on to Penisgate. So Penisgate, this is a big deal with the ski jumpers. They were injecting hyaluronic acid into their penises. Why were they doing that? Well, by injecting hyaluronic acid into your penis, you increase the surface area of your skin suit, of the suit that you wear. And it's more aerodynamic. You get more lift that way. Listen to this. The World Anti-Doping Agency is investigating whether ski jumpers were injecting their penises with hyaluronic acid in order to fly further. That would literally give a Victorian child a seizure if you read that. This is from The Guardian. How does penis size affect ski jumping? Before the start of the season, ski jumpers have to have their suits made up based on the measurements of their body length, including crotch height determined by an FIS-approved 3D body scanner in the presence of a doctor, stripped down to their underwear and with particular stipulations around posture. That'd be a fun college internship. Scanning naked ski jumpers. The dimensions of that suit is strictly regulated because the total size of the suit can have significant effect on the amount of lift that you can generate, which allows them to jump further, says Associate Professor Dan Dwyer from Deakin University's School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences. Yeah, I study the surface area of penises in ski jump suits for a living. Yeah, I wrote my thesis, actually. I wrote my thesis on the interaction between the relationship between penis size and aerodynamics in Olympic ski jumping. The history of it, how it's evolved, the 3D scanners. I'm your resident expert, Dan Dwyer, of course. Dan ski jump Dick Dwyer. What are the risks? Chung warns injecting a penis with hyaluronic acid carries significant risks in both the short term and long term. Quote, poorly injected technique or incorrect dose would cause penile pain, poor cosmesis, disfigurement, if you didn't know, deformity, infection, inflammation, sensory change, and sexual dysfunction. In rare instances, infection can spread to cause gangrene and loss of the penis. We do it for the love of the game, though, folks. We do it for the love of the game. Let's see what we have here. Hey, this is good news. Ready? Remember last episode I was talking about autism? Well, I don't know if my words spoke this into existence, folks. Coon Skin Nation, we are in an autism bubble. If you remember 2008, the housing market bubble, we are at the height of the Red 40 market here because Barbie, Mattel, has introduced an autistic Barbie with headphones, a fidget spinner, and an iPad. Let's see. It's about advocacy groups reacting. Let's see. The new Autism Speaks said the new doll helps reinforce a positive self-image for autistic children. I mean, let's take a closer look at this. Oh my God. If you're not watching on this podcast on video, flip it on the video. Unbelievable. Our world. Pedophilia, autism, Ozempic, gambling, crypto, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. We've done it. It's time to restart the simulation. That's it. We've hit the peak. We are at the end of the cycle. Okay, it's time to go back to sticks and stones and being cavemen. We're there. We've done it. We did it, Joe. We did it. Well, that's just unbelievable. I think they also have a Down syndrome Barbie. I'd like to see a Chinese maxing Barbie. Oh my gosh. They could have done the eyes a little better. Yeah. Doll 208, Barbie with Down syndrome. Oh. Wow. I'm gonna invoke the Fifth Amendment here. Right to not self-incriminate, but I'll just show you guys. Oh my Lanta. What a time to be alive. This is the next thing I wanted to show is the Department of War tweeted this. The tweet, if you're not watching the video, it says low cortisol, locked in, lethality maxing. Lethality maxing. Department of War. This is end of world behavior, folks. Or lethality maxing. Boy, the world is becoming so unserious. It's kind of fun though. And I think that is what we had. The cruise ship stuff. Leave a comment if you think I should go on a cruise. And by the way, I appreciate all the love I'm getting on the podcast. If you're enjoying it, like, subscribe, follow, and rate it 5 stars, please. We have another message from one of our sponsors before we finish out the show. This is the Cicada Countdown Timer. 2030 is coming, and this is brought to you by Alex out of Salt Lake City. He's the brains. I helped collaborate with him on this, but got to give him credit where credit is due. Cicada Countdown Timer. 2030 is coming. The Brood 2 East Coast Swarm is beneath your floorboards, waiting. Do you have the peace of mind you deserve? From the makers of Asbestos Flakes breakfast cereal comes the Cicada Countdown Timer. It's a 400-pound diesel-powered clock for your nightstand that vibrates with the intensity of 10,000 wings. Excuse me. Bill from West Virginia says, before the timer, we were just living. Now we count the seconds until the screaming starts. It's a blessing. A proud partner of FEMA, the Special Olympics, and the government of Honduras. Don't let the swarm surprise you. By the clock, hear the diesel, fear the 2030 emergence. The cicada timer, because the ground is breathing and you deserve to know why. Feel free to reach out for a free consultation and mention the Taylor Morris Show sent you. So, folks, I think that is really all we have for today, for today's episode. And as we head into this next week, I've been, in spite of all the crazy stuff that's going on, I've been overwhelmed with gratitude. I really have. We have so much, there's a lot of darkness in the world, but think about what you have to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my legs and the ability to walk. Honestly, I saw a video popped up on my social media of a guy who dove into a swimming pool and is now paralyzed. And he was like, yeah, I didn't think about like the accessibility of everything until I got paralyzed. And I was just like, wow, I am grateful to have an able body. I really am. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm so grateful for my family, especially my siblings. I'm grateful for the internet and the funny people on there. I'm grateful for humor, and I'm grateful for you all who tune in and engage with this content, because it's really, it fills my heart. Guy packing big dip. I have to show you guys this video if I can. Baseball coach packing dip. This guy. Oh, excuse me. Here we go. Ready? Oh boy. Oh boy. He's actually a chipmunk. That's not a human male. It's a chipmunk in the wild. Well, I really don't know what the purpose of that was, other than to inspire you to find the humor and joy in everything and continue to stay curious, continue to ask questions, continue to look into the Epstein stuff, as scary as it may be. It's important. And with that, Coon Skin Nation, this has been a wonderful episode. Thank you for bearing with me through the technical difficulties. My name's Taylor Morris, and until next time, stay curious.